We're here to talk about edibles yet again, and more importantly, we've got a quad test here, and it's an absolute monster. It's from all products of Cooper's Brewery, an Australian company that was had strips torn off it because they didn't indulge in the official groupthink for gay marriage, because the company's run by some, I believe, some Orthodox Christians. Because it's a family-run company, but yet again, not for this channel. You want to rant and rave about that, find some alt-right skid mark to go and mouth off to about it with. We're going to start with what I believe is the earliest surviving product from that you can still buy commercially. I mean, I'm not talking about, it isn't that brewery, shit, fuck no, it's South Australia, because for those not from here, South Australia state, instead of the sort of circumference belt on the globe, is the New Jersey of Australia. And everyone knows New Jersey. I mean, literally everyone who's heard of America knows New Jersey is a glorified shithole. Yeah, sure, there's some nice places, like the bits on the coast, on the river coast that face New York. Instead of spending $20 million in New York, you can spend $7 or $8 million in New Jersey. Trouble is, you're still living in Jersey. That's a tough one. That really is a purple nobel there. But either way, terrible state. Hopefully, great product. This first one is the original Pale Ale. I believe this was around forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and then they reintroduced it in the I think the very late 90s, because it hadn't been available for like 20 or 30 years, but it had been available forever and ever and ever before then. This company's been around for probably the best part of 100 years. Longer. Established 1862. So it's been probably available since 1870, right up to probably the 70s or the 80s. It hasn't disappeared for a long, long time. On the land down under. If you can't get your favourite beer, this was back before hipster brews even were a sparkle in some dickhead's eye. If you can get your own beer for a week or two, that was a crisis. For 10, 15, 20 years, that's apocalyptic. So when they brought this back, people actually went nuts. I also brought this one back too, simultaneously. So it disappeared from the mainstream. I think they, if memory serves me correct, they might have niched off into hard ciders. It came back to beers. But we'll start with original Pale Ale. Let's see what Trump has to say.
The beauty of me is that I'm very rich. Really, really rich.
That is true. He's an asshole, but that is true. I got my stunt glass, I'm feeling like, you gotta put it in a glass. Well, I have a stunt glass, and believe it or not, that's it. I've looked, the only other glass I have is this piece of crap coloured, and that's not good for beer. I'm sure you want to see this bit. That'll do. Tipped it upside down to make sure it's distributed properly. That's a nice sort of, I'd go honey colour, and a peak honey colour with a slight bit of head. Smells like beer, B-E-E-R. Bit sweet, touch fragrant. If you were the sort of a person who sort of home brews your stuff in those gigantic vats with homostats and little yeast tablets and so on, and then drink great tubs of concentrate and shit like that. Get the lid. It smells like that sort of stuff. There's literally nothing wrong with that. It's only 4.5% alcohol if we standard drinks, just for reference purposes. I'd say that's on the piffy side for this. particular brew because nothing wrong with that. That's a clean, crisp. When people say there's nothing like a cold beer on a hot day, this must be the beer they're talking about because this ice cold on a 40-something degree day. Ooh, sweet mother of Jesus, that would be refreshing. It's clean, it's crisp, it's flavoursome as a let's say puffified beer. For those who don't speak English lingo, puff is a crude slang for homosexual. Alcohol content is appreciable, but because of the bitter end note, you think it's stronger than it is. I suspect that's very deliberate of them because back in the 1870s, 1880s, this probably would have been 6 or 7%. Officially, with an alcoholic proof more like 12%, and it did knock you on your ass. Unless you're a hardcore alcoholic, which one? 2 or 3 steins of that. Beer mugs if you prefer. You don't care. Even you'd be done. The average person would be skirting death. Absolutely nothing wrong with this one. Hooper's Brewery Original Pale Ale. If you just want a regular, reliable, cheap, so this should be cost effective, but it's snug, everyday beer. The sort of thing you can reliably drink ice cold every day in a stinking hot summer. And maybe probably have a slab with you and a friend or 2 or 3. As your aim this particular Saturday afternoon is to get absolutely soused. Great choice. And you'd come off more sophisticated than the sort of mouth breather who drinks, in Australia, the sort of bourbon. Remember their white trash choices are VB, Tooheys Extra Dry, Lightning Ice, believe it or not, Carlton Draft. And if you're, unlike Britain, you're a classy bit of trailer trash if you drink a Corona or Stella Artois. And for those people who like to insist, I like your beer, they like this sort of beer, but they don't want to be a bit working class, they would have a, Heineken if they're douchebags, and James Bogue if they're not complete douchebags. Or Cascade if beer. I think they might still make beer, but it's a bit flaky what they're up to nowadays in that world. So it's not my interest, but let's keep this show rolling. I don't want this to be an hour-long marathon if I can help it. Cooper's Brewery Sparkling Ale. At 1.7% drinks, 5.8. Ooh, that's a bit sharp. Now this you have to invert because it's got yeast in it. Ooh, look at that. Probably can't see it, but I can see this sort of cloudy yeast. At first I didn't notice anything, and then there's just this one sort of yeast, and then there's little lumps and probably starch and yeast and. This would be a really cloudy little bugger. That'll be interesting. This is a sort of beer purist like. Let's see what Trump has to say.
It's fake news. It's all fake news. Believe me, it's fake news.
We'll find out. By what you in the commentary have to say. Especially you Ligerist and you napier douchebags. Just remember, you want to see it, don't you? Oh, we can already see that it's quite a bit darker. It is it's not opaque, but it's almost an amber colour. Almost. Still a little bit of head to it, which is nice. It's a good sign. It smells more vinegary. Almost hints of cider in there. Almost. Sniffing it isn't doing anything for me, so let's give it a spin. anyway, isn't that intriguing? You gotta shake it to probably dissolve all the starch and yeast and some sort of stuff that's left over from the brewing process. It smells like arse. It's got a really rich honey colour, almost amber colour. I'd call that more like a honey coloured lacquer colour. It's not the most horrifically flavoursome stuff, but, and this is a big but, and I'm sure you love big butts and don't lie, it's the better product. It really is the better product. What is it? 4.5 versus 5.8 strength, so it's 1.1% stronger. Wowzers. Especially with the punitive taxes we have down under. Ironic considering it's a boiling hot country full of casualised alcoholics. Or not. If it was sort of alt-right Toby likes ranting about government conspiracy. Not at all surprising. If you're a sort of born-again socialist, yes. Hard to describe it. It doesn't have a flavour per se, but it is interesting. It's creamy. It's full-bodied. It's decadent even. If you were like me a year ago, 6 months ago, hell, even 2 years ago, and thinking, you know what, just because my family have a bad history with booze doesn't mean I should just pretend it doesn't exist. And it makes great content for you ungrateful dickheads. Come on, subscribe. God damn. I was wondering what, why? It's bitter, it's harsh, it burns, it tastes like arse. Everyone's saying, oh, it's full body and red. You wouldn't know what a full body is, and I'm not talking Kim Kardashian in an itty bitty little bikini. This is your answer. That is full fucking bodied. My God. Well, the first one was good. It was beer, hot, stinking hot summer's day beer. And it'd be perfect for a barbecue where you're stuck in the hot bloody sun and you don't mind if you get a bit pissed. Perfect. Sparkling now? Ooh, this is something you'd order at a bar. Oh, it's gorgeous. It really is. It's got this creamy, foamy feel in one's mouth and tongue. So much so you almost, in my case at least, wonder where the hell's vanilla? Not there. Not much flavour to speak of, not at all bitter. And honest to God, you wouldn't believe this is almost, how strong is that? Almost 6%. You would not believe it's almost 60%. You'd think that's a 4.5 mild, light, sort of thing girl to drink. Hey. No, it's almost 6%. That's a monster. That, so far, is my choice from the Cooper's range. Yet again, I know you angel retentive anorexic on the crack and shit's got a range. No, but this is the mainstream stuff. This is the stuff I have you any reasonable expectation you can get a hold of, no problems. Go to any self-respecting bottle shop and you should be able to find at least these first two, and probably these next two as well. Other than this, I believe a very limited edition sort of seasonal IPA or something like that, or pale ale, and then they get into their sort of boutique range. They can all be for another video, another day. now go for the mild pale ale, 3.5%. The sort of beer you might get at the football. I'm pretty sniffy about serving anything over 3.5% nowadays. They're very sniffy nowadays about serving anything over 3.5%. There's some particle suspension. This might have gotten a bit hard. I'm not sure. There you go, 3.5% exactly. One standard drink per bottle. Let's see what Don promised to say.
Get them out of here. I don't want to speak to them. It's all fake news. Get them out of here.
What he has to say there about me. This is the sort of thing that was made to go to the football. So if you have a big plastic cup of beer, it's this. For Coopers. This is the sort of thing you go to a barbecue and, you're going to the football and you need a beer. A little bit bogan. And they only give you 3.5% pussy beer, as I'm sure football crowds like to call them. This is should be your choice. Should be. Let's find out. Got my stunt glass. There we go, slowly forms a bit of head. There's a colorization. It's much the same as the sparkling ale now. The colour. Very similar actually. It's maybe a bit paler. Maybe it splits it too. This is more of a from above it's actually a lot more translucent. It's a very similar colour to the sparkling ale. Not surprising it's quite a bit more translucent. Now let's give this a sip, shall we? Okay. You may or may not be able to hear a giant blowy buzzing around. Off the bat, that is shit. That is horse shit. You can tell this is a very cynical product satisfying a very deliberate niche in the market. It's like down under schools have little, what would you call it? So I'm not familiar with Aussie slang. Right up, flavour, weak, non-existently weak. Yeah, it's like you get flavour, maybe, galactic void of jack shit, absolutely fuck all. I don't know, maybe the rest of the flavour, a slight bit of alcohol, just a tinge of bitterness. Make you think, beer? I don't know, is that beer? Absolute fucking swill. I mean, literally, unless you're at the football and you're in the bloody, boutique lounge, your membership costs $20,000-$30,000 a year, and they have bottles of beer instead of some pissy little glass cup. Plastic, I should say. I don't want glass, for obvious reasons. Alcoholics and glass, and what do you end up with? A very bloody riot. Literally, a bloody riot. People with chunks of their face hanging off. Anyway, if you're in one of those areas and they only have 3.5%, because the official policy of the sports stadium and the government cracked the shits if they didn't follow through, even those guys, toss of the sporting world. It's a good brand, but it's a fucking terrible beer. I mean, seriously, if you're up the creek in a leaky canoe with no bucket and no paddle, and it's a very acute situation, and in that situation, it'll do. Any other choice, walk on by. It is crapola. final one today, because after all this is a quad test. The Session Ale. Ooh. I do believe this is the newest product of them all by far. The reverse market incentive for this garbage has only been around for about 10 years. I believe the sparkling ale was reintroduced just before the green one, actually. Actually, everyone's quite peevish over greatness 20-30 years ago. Wow, this is only 1.2 standard drinks, 4.2%. That's it's pretty mild by Etopian standards, but we'll see what Trump has to say. Hopefully he's not going to insist on fake news again. Let's talk beer. We've got Session Ale. There's a stunt glass. And there's a bloody mutt. Look at how pale that is, my God. Whew. That is. If you didn't know any better, you'd think that's a urine in a bottle. It's even got no head to speak of. I mean, look at that. My God, it's about as fluffy in urine, it's about the same colour as urine. It smells extremely fruity. And has a tannin that I'm sure many people say, oh, that's urine-esque. I believe this is Cooper's retort to those Napier douchebags. Yeah, I would concur with that. What is this? 4.2%, 1.2 standard drinks. Not exactly enough. I mean, pretty underwhelming for a Napier North England Indian Pale Ale. No, Northeast Indian Pale Ale. In America, obviously. They've gone absolutely psychotic down under. Probably because they're really cheap and raw ingredients. And because it's such a piss weak beer, it really allows you to go nuts with flavourings, interesting things, and because it's pretty piss weak on its own, you don't need metric tons of it. And also, it's a slightly fruity based beer, so these sort of millennial dipshits who think, I want to drink beer because I'm 32 and I want to drink beer. For fuck's sake, I'm a man! But I hate the bitter, disgusting, tasted beer. They usually want something a bit fruitier, a bit softer, a bit more, leading of some Viagra and a good internet deal so they can, bring the, what would you call it, bring the soldier to salute. They've gone absolutely bonkers. And I do believe this is Cooper's equivalent. Yeah, I'd say so. It's a crude alcoholic wash. It's irritatingly fruity. I mean, look at that. That looks like a glass of apple juice or urine. Take your pick. Whatever's more offensive to you. There's functionally no hops present because the bitterness might just be, if it's a quad test and shit lingers. Or if there is any here, it is beyond weak. It's derisible, actually. And I mean, if you like a mild, fruity beer, seriously, this is your weapon of choice. Unfortunately, if you're that sort of neo-fascist progressive, the fact that the family who run this company didn't fall into line with the groupthink on gay marriage, and more importantly, are based in South Aussie, the New Jersey of Australia. And the fact this brand isn't at all advertised and has a bit of a the last time they were cool until relevant until well, it was probably the 70s until reason. The last time they had any real attention other than that, clusterfuck. When they were, the brand, they were the Aussie brand. As far as I know, they had a huge renaissance, and they were the brand of beer down under. Probably because they finally reached national distribution. And what do you know? It was amazing. I suppose for formality's sake, it's time to do some rankings. Last, and most certainly least, Orange Label. Let's keep it crude. Mild ale, 3.5%. Orange Label is 4th. LSU at the football, and they have a 3.5% only policy unless you want to pay $24 for a fucking beer. When you're in one of those box seats or sky seats or above the plebs seats, and are luxuriated enough to have a glass bottle of beer, avoid that shit at all cost. Next one, unfortunately, is going to have to be this. I really hate those Napiers and let's face it, the unadulterated douchiness. I was swearing those. I think, how do I describe it without turning this into an hour-long marathon by going on a 25-minute rant? Douche covers it all in one word. The sheer douchiness of the product. The average Napier down under. That is a Napier by any other name, literally. And it likes the raw douchiness, but still. It's kind of like supporting league rugby down under. You yourself might be a good person, but the sport itself is still a famed wife-beater, alcoholic, Neanderthal of the sort of 1950s attitudes to marriage. The woman's place is in the kitchen and pumping out babies, and if she just happens to fall on your closed fist or flailing arms, isn't she a clumsy bitch? There's no getting around that. If you like rugby, you are by default associated with that. League rugby down under. Doesn't necessarily mean you are, but you are still in some way associated with it. That's what that beer is. You may not be an insufferable douche, a sort of Napier's to a lager Nazi, but you're still an insufferable douche. Next up is the original pale ale. If you're the sort of person who likes drinking your VB, your Carlton Draft, LAOs, your Tiffys, extra dry, your Bogan beers, and you're thinking, I can't show to me mates Barry how to slap a VB because he's frankly a prick. Well, this is your security blanket. Trust me, it will work. It's probably better than the shit you're drinking, actually. Last but most certainly the best of all, and the website warns you carefully to agitate it by rolling the bottle upside down and back. Sparkling ale. If you drink beer, not the first of almost get absolutely pissed. That's your choice. It's creamy, it's mouthfeel, it's beautiful, not spectacularly flavoursome. You don't really notice the alcohol because it doesn't burn, sting, and erotically nibble back. But this is a big but. It's so fucking smooth. You could have 3 or 4 of them while nursing just one of these if you want a hardcore drinker. And if your goal is to get a bit soused or have some social lube and have a bit of fun, isn't that the point? You enjoy yourself while drinking the product and enjoy yourself even more because you're a bit of a tit. But I do have to argue it is semantics. I mean, it depends on exactly what you want out of your beer. I mean, do you want to taste like beer and you want really high quality, or do you not care about the taste of beer, but you want a really, really smooth, silky product? Me, I don't care for the flavour of beer. I really fucking don't. Why do you think I specialise in all these douchey ones? I rant rave about them and then I go and buy them. My own worst enemy, aren't I? So for me, it's the red label, sparkling regional pale purple. Purple. Yeah, I'm doing that now actually. Green label. That might be your thing. But I'm sure I've detained you for more than long enough. I mean, after all, if you're the modern person with the attention span of a flea on methamphetamine, so a video more than 3.5-4 minutes long is a bullbuster. And something that's practically 40 minutes long, which is what I'm seeing right now, is holy shit. I mean, you actually might need one of these.